everybody. Welcome to a fall 2014 S.W.A.T review. My name is Kate.
And I'm Alan.
We are from ReverseThieves.com. You can go there to get other S.W.A.T reviews, many other podcasts, as well as 3+ blog posts every week.
This time we're looking at When Supernatural Battles Become Commonplace from Studio Trigger, and it is streaming on Crunchyroll.
And this is a series about the literature club, and the guy in the literature club is a Chunibyo, but then one day when he's like doing one of his mini Chunibyo-esque rantings, he ends up gaining supernatural powers.
And so do the other 4 girls in the literature club that he's a part of.
And then the series jumps like 6 months after that happens, and so now, just kind of how the title implies, it's just ordinary life includes these supernatural abilities.
And he's still playing around with the Chunibyo shtick, even though he has a power. And the girls, of course, all got cooler powers than him. And then a challenger comes. And it seems that other people at the school now have supernatural powers. And someone is sending those people after the literature club. Your utterly dissatisfied face cannot be portrayed over radio, Kate.
Oh, sorry, this isn't video. The thing is that I actually don't have that much to say about this because, frankly, based on the premise of this show, and it's like probably based on a light novel, like I would never have watched this show if it wasn't being done by Trigger. Like I would never even watch the first episode because I know this show is not for me. I don't like these types of shows. Like it's a very stereotypical show. I guess I don't have that much to say about it because the only reason I even bothered to watch the episode is because of Trigger, and it doesn't seem like they're really changing it all that much or making it super triggery or something crazy. So
yeah,
it's just
the animation looks very...
I mean, it was good.
But I feel like Trigger has a very unique style. Like, all their shows seem very stylized and, But this seems really, once again, you are correct, based on the light novel. And so they're super faithful to the character designs, which is never a bad thing. But you can at least, kind of spice up the animation. But like you said, it's very good.
It's competently done.
But I feel like there isn't a lot of their normal kind of flair or stretch. And yeah, it is just plays out how you would expect it. I mean, there's the little bounce in the one little play fight they had, but that was like how many seconds of...
And then they kind of reference their self at one point, like in the series. It's a typical light novel series to me, and that's exactly how it came off. And of course, all of the girls, they're like, one for you to choose, so you can like be a fan of that one. And the main girl like clearly likes Ando, but she's tsundere.
I mean, she really reminded me of Hinagiku. And she has the ability to stop time. And, mess with time. She just can't go back in time. It can stop it, slow it down, speed it up. One of them is kind of the ditzy girl, and she has the control of the elements. There's the quiet little girl one. And
I don't even know, this is one of those questions where it doesn't matter what the answer is, but I kept wondering, how is she in the literature club? Because she's clearly in elementary school. And, in the opening, she's, going to elementary school with, her elementary school friends. So I was like, how is she in this literature club? But then I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter. Why am I
She obviously skipped grades, Kate, because she's so smart. And then...
I guess. Well, why can't she wear the high school uniform? No?
So she could still hang out every once in a while with her elementary school friends.
I don't know. I was like... I mean, it's never, shown in the regular part of the show, but in the opening, it was, seemed like she went to elementary school. So I was like, whatever. And then there's Big Booby Girl.
And she can basically restore things to their natural state. Kind of like Josuke from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4.
It was interesting that I thought that the fan service was very variable. There really wasn't that much, but then there'd just be that 1 second. So I don't know.
The booby girl, they really like to show her bouncing.
But that's pretty much it.
Several times to show panty shots and they never did. But man, if they could just move the camera on her.
So maybe she's the animator's favorite. I don't know. I guess in a way I just feel like it's almost, I find myself not wanting to even bother because I knew going in that I wasn't gonna like this show unless Trigger was doing something triggery with it. So they didn't seem to in the first episode. Somebody will let us know if they do, because of course people are gonna watch this. And the thing is that I didn't have expectations for this show. Like, I guess that's how I also feel. It's like, it's exactly what it says it's gonna be, and I'm not pretending that Trigger doesn't need to pay their bills or do anything else, but I feel like there will be people who complain about this because it's a Trigger show, and then people who continue to watch it and complain about it because it's a Trigger show. So they'll let me know if they do anything special.
Well, I have a few thoughts. One, actually the thing that probably ticked me off the most, and I know it's just part of the genre. I mean, the show is like slavish to the genre, but that the guy's power is so obviously it has no use, but clearly that, you know, it'll be the most powerful in the club, but until then he's useless. Wah wah. When, I don't know, I felt like there's so many more interesting things you could do. I feel like it's kind of like the worst of both worlds, because it makes him this kind of secret hero that kind of comes off as cheesy when the reveal is there, but until then he's utterly useless. So if he had like a useful power, if he was the only one who didn't have a power, he had to like be clever, that would have been interesting.
That guy's gonna be that guy.
Look, Kate, in a different show, they would have gone with that. Have him constantly be, you know, the Chinibyo and the one who wanted to have the power, but then realize actually his smarts are the best power of all. Kind of like that one kid from Runaways, where he didn't have the power, he was just clever. So that could have been interesting, or...
How dare you use this show? I mean, I know you're using it as a good example, but I'm like, I don't even want that series even associated in any way with my Runaways, but I see what you mean. Okay. Now what's your other thing?
Oh, and the other thing is, they really wasted the first character they fight against, because I feel like the first girl they meet has the ability to steal people's powers, and I guess she could come back as an antagonist later on, or as a useful, you know, somebody they'll be friends, so they need to use her power, but it really seemed like something that could really easily be like a tricky fight or like a good, interesting fight. But I feel like they blew their load on like a character who could have been much more interesting on an introductory fight, where like any lame-o superpower could have been like super strength or anything. And it just seems like a real waste. And that kind of annoyed me, because I feel like you never make your first person out of the gate the most interesting one. They're supposed to be like the introductory person. Just annoyed me. There is some amount, I did see some amount of interest in its kind of meta commentary on the whole Chinibyo and superpowered genre. I just don't think it did it well. I think I see what they were going for and kind of what they were doing, but oh well, like you said, people are gonna hate watch this show if nothing else. So if it does turn out to be really good, we'll find out about it.
It's not a spectacular first episode. It's exactly what you expect it to be. So, you know, if you like... I mean, I don't know, I feel like I'm judging you, but it's like, oh, if you like crappy light novel adaptions about clubs where people sort of have powers and there's like one guy and a bunch of girls, then this is a show for you.
Loser. Alright, see you guys next time.